What is going on, guys? I'm SceptileMC, George, the coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, here bringing you my GBA Season 7 playoffs, Round 1, Team Builder against Gator and the Florida Gators. So we did actually lose to him in, I want to say, Week 4-ish, Week 5, in the regular season. We lost because he brought us SceptileMC, and we were just not able to counter it. It just threatened my Togekiss too much, and it was just a massive problem. So I think I built a really interesting team here. I kind of went back to my roots a little bit here, and I tried to more focus on the, not the meme side, but the creative builder in me. Just trying to get a little bit, trying to surprise him with sets that he would not initially expect. And of course you guys do see face cam. I am back at home from college, so that's why you guys see a face cam. I am in my dad's office, which is why I got a cool chair that likes to move back and roll around. Pretty happy with it. But yeah, without further ado, let me get right on this into his team. So, Latios, of course, the big one. Heatran, Mamoswine, Galvantula, Pyukamuku, Whimsicott, Ferrothorn, Diggersby, Blastoise, Doublade, and the Hawlucha. So, big threats on his side is the Latios, obviously. The Mamoswine, if it's a very offensive spread, because I don't have the Superior. If he's a Soul Fest, really doesn't affect me too much. But if he brings like a Life Orb set or a Banded set or a Scarf set, that could be a problem for me. Galvantula, just the coverage it has really hits my team hard, and it's kind of hard to switch into. So that makes that a threat. Pyukamuku, just the slow baton pass it has is a problem, especially if he brings back Latios again. Whimsicott, one of the only physically defensive Pokemon that could take on my Garchomp on his team. The Ferrothorn, I don't think he'll bring that because I do have a lot of things to take it on. The Diggersby is always a threat, especially if it's an agility set. The Blastoise, if he brings it, it'll be Fizz Def and have Rapid Spin. The Doublade, if it's a Swords Dance, it's always a Swords Dance spread, but it could be threatening. I'm not sure if he'll bring it though. And then the Hawlucha, always a massive threat. If it gets +2 and gets its speed boost, it's pretty much game. So, without further ado, let me get right on into my team. So you first see a Mienshao. I got Panda. Got the Life Orb Mienshao right here with the Regenerator, with the SD, the Drain Punch, the Feint, and the Knockoff. You guys are going to see a common trend on this team of hitting 146 speed, because that outspeeds the majority of his team. He has a pretty big speed gap from his Mamoswine to his Galvantula, and a lot of my Pokemon actually fall in between that speed gap, so I can pressure him with enough speed to outspeed the things like Mamoswine and below, and then everything else I just have to kind of prep for defensively or bring Scarfed users. So Mienshao is able to run only 164 speed and then have a max attack Adamant Nature. Sorry, I do have a little cold, so if I do sniff a little bit, that is why. Colds suck. But, alright, so I have SD on this thing, so, and I have interesting move in Feint, and I'll cover Feint at the end. So I have Drain Punch, Knockoff, pretty standard coverage. A Drain Punch can hit the Heatran, the Mamoswine, Pyukamuku, the Ferrothorn, the Diggersby, the Blastoise, all for good damage, while the Knockoff does hit the Doublade, which is crucial, as well as the Latios if he's slow. It's not going to hit the Latios ever. I can knock off on things early game and just get my Regenerator, and then SD in the late game. Now the big move here is Feint. So what Feint allows me to do at +2, Latios goes down if it's at about 40%. The Mamoswine goes down if it's at about like 35%. The Galvantula goes down from about half. I think it's a little bit under half. I can outspeed the Diggersby's priority, the Mamoswine's priority. Hit the Hawlucha if I need that crucial damage in the late game, where like he sets up 2 subs at 50%. Let's say he's not a Citrus Berry or something, or even if he is, and I'm able to get off the Feint on him for crucial damage for one of my other Pokemon, that could be a good thing. And overall, yeah, and also my team is pretty designed for either Feint to open up a hole through his team, so I could sweep with that, or another Pokemon can open up a hole, and then I can sweep with Drain Punch and Feint and knock off. So that's this set right here. Decided to go a little more interesting here, kind of bring a more offensive, well, not offensive Mienshao because they're always offensive, but more of a pure power Mienshao that's just going to surprise him. What the fuck was that? It's very strange, remember. And yeah, so my next Pokemon is going to be Captain. It is the Mew. So I have the Defog, the Scald, the Roost, and the Volt Switch. I have enough speed to outspeed Mamoswine again, which is 146, and the rest is in defense and HP. So I have the defog. Now the reason I have defog is because I'm not bringing superior in this game, and if he brings webs on his Galvantula and he gets them up, I pretty much lose unless I defog them away. So that's my plan with that. If I get off a defog, that'd be great against that. And then if the rocks are pressuring me too much, I can always kind of set up my own rocks again with a Registeel. But the Scald is so I can hit things like the Heatran, the Mamoswine, the Galvantula. I could possibly burn the Ferrothorn. I get super effective damage on the Diggersby. I could burn the Blastoise, the Doublade, the Hawlucha. Nothing wants to switch into a Scald on his team because of the fear that it gets burned or it just does like kind of decent neutral damage. The Roost is pretty self-explanatory, so I can stay alive. And then I have the Volt Switch. So the Volt Switch allows me to Volt Switch on the Mamoswine if it's staying in versus me, and I can try to predict the switch. And then he goes like Pyukumuku or something. I can Volt Switch out against the Blastoise, against the Hawlucha on a substitute, so I can get into something that could probably take it out better. And against the Doublade as well if I get a burn, and I want to switch out on an Iron Shadow Claw thing into Garchomp and get rough skin damage. I don't know. But that is why I do have the Volt Switch and the Scald for my coverage. I can't hit the Latios with this, but this is not designed to wall Latios. I have other things for that, so let's move on from there. Next up, we got Samahata the Garchomp. I didn't bring Garchomp in my last game versus him. No, did I? I don't think I did. And I believe we've won almost every game we brought in Garchomp, so we're going to bring Garchomp this week, guys. We've won the majority of our games with Garchomp. So, Choice Scarf Garchomp, again, 146 speed. That's all I need to outspeed the things that I need to. I have max attack, adamant nature, and then 68 in defense, because the defense is mainly so. If I had max HP and he was an adamant Mamoswine without Life Orb, he could still, I think, possibly KO me with Ice Shard. I think it's like a 50-50 chance. If I put that HP into defense instead, he has no chance of KOing me with Ice Shard if he's only the adamant nature. That's without a Life Orb. I can better take quick attacks off the Diggersby. I can better take the Hawlucha's High Jump Kick, or Acrobatics, or Sky Attack, or whatever it wants to go for. The Doublade Shadow Sneak's not going to do as much to me. And the Psyshock off the Latios is not going to do nearly as much to me. So, Earthquake, Giant Claw, Outrage, and the Fire Blast. If he doesn't have the Doublade or the Whimsicott, I click Outrage and I win. Or the Heatran. If I'm able to take out the Heatran, the Doublade, or the Whimsicott, and he only has one of those, pretty early on I can just spam Outrage or Dragon Claw. Earthquake is sort of tricky to use versus team just because he has the Hawlucha and that sets up if I kill something with Earthquake. But I thought about that. I did think about that, and the Fire Blast is for the Ferrothorn pretty much, and the Whimsicott as well. My next Pokemon, Registeel. You guys are going to see an interesting move, and it's going to make you guys very happy to see this. I'm very excited to use this move, and it is going to be a Shuka-Berry, max specially defensive Registeel with the Stealth Rocks, Explosion, Earthquake, and Gravity. So, what Gravity does, if you guys do not know, is it knocks all Levitate users and all flying types to the ground, meaning they get hit by Earthquake. So, my plan with this Pokemon is I get up rocks, probably turn 1, maybe turn 2, because if I lead off with Mew and he leads off with the Galvantula or the Latios, then I would switch into Registeel and just get on my rocks right away, or I just lead off with Registeel and get on my rocks for everything because I have the Shuka-Berry. So my plan with this is to get on my rocks early on, and then try to pressure him into switching into Latios at least once before I go for Gravity, because after 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins, Adamant Earthquake off of a Garchomp kills a Latios. I believe after 1 rock switch-in, it kills Hawlucha. So the main plan here is to Stealth Rocks. I can pivot around his team as much as I want, and then click Gravity, and then click Explosion, and go into Garchomp and potentially sweep up in the late game. Alternative Gravity could be used so that I could use Earthquake against the Latios and the Hawlucha with Registeel, but it's probably not going to happen because Registeel is piss weak and it doesn't do anything other than explode and click Gravity and rocks. Earthquake is just there in case I want to try to hit the Doublade really on the Heatran. If I try to hit a Heatran, I feel like I'm going to die to Lava Plume, but you never know, he might over-predict. I can get some damage off on the Galvantula as well, I guess, and the Doublade really, yeah. So that is that. Next Pokemon, Mismagius. I am very happy with this Mismagius set, guys. So, yes, you guys see it. I know you guys see it. I'm going to save it until the end, though. I'll explain it later. So we got a Life Orb Mismagius, once again, 146 speed. We got the Shadow Ball, the Energy Ball, and the HP Ground. Pretty self-explanatory moves. I have the Life Orb with the Mild Nature, max special attack, so I outspeed everything I possibly can. And then the Shadow Ball plus Energy Ball plus HP Ground hits his entire team for massive damage. The Blastoise gets killed by Energy Ball. The Diggersby gets completely OHKO'd by Energy Ball. The Mamoswine is going to go down to an Energy Ball. So a couple of rocks if it's AV, I think. The Galvantula dies to a Shadow Ball after rocks. The Whimsicott, if it's max HP, it won't take 2, but it'll take 1. The Hawlucha just dies to Shadow Ball after rocks, I'm pretty sure. If not, it comes close. And yeah, and then you guys are definitely thinking, George, please explain the Shadow Sneak right now. And I go, yes, I will explain the Shadow Sneak right now. So, this is where Feint and Shadow Sneak kind of go hand in hand here. So, if I am in against Latios and he's taken rock switch-ins once or twice, Shadow Sneak does about 40% to the Latios. And that puts him in range of +2 Feint. So if I am able to force him out and then go into Mienshao and go for Sword Stance, +2 Feint will kill the Latios. The Shadow Sneak also is able to do about 20 to 25% on the Hawlucha, which could be crucial damage for the Feint to take it out if it gets to +2 speed. I also can hit the Galvantula for about 25 to 30% if he goes down, or if I'm about to go down and I just want some a nice little chip damage at the end. The Mamoswine, I can bypass the Ice Shard and go for a Shadow Sneak, doing about 20% to it, which is just overall just this chip damage is going to add up in the end for my sweepers, like the Garchomp and the Mienshao, or vice versa. The Mienshao is going to open up the hole for the Shadow Sneak too on this. The Shadow Sneak on the Mismagius to kill. Yeah, so my last Pokemon is going to be Water Doge right here, which is my Suicune. We got the Assault Vest on the Suicune. We have Scald, Ice Beam, the Mirror Coat, and the Hidden Power. This is Fire, not Dragon. I don't know why it says Dragon. That's kind of scary. HP Fire, thank you. So, alright, so because of a new mechanic in Gen 7, you actually can somehow maximize these IVs to be 31 and 31, I believe. So it would be something like this instead, which would be 146 speed. Of course, gotta hit that max speed. And then the max special attack for as much damage as possible with the 28 HP, and then the 4 and 4 in defense and special defense. I go for Scald. First, the Heatran, the Mamoswine, the Ferrothorn if I want Burn. I have HP Fire for that as well. It says Dragon again because I changed my IVs. Scald versus the Doublade, and Ice Beam for the Hawlucha, the Diggersby as well, the Whimsicott, the Latios, and HP Fire for the Ferrothorn. Now I have Mirror Coat on this thing, just so if he has a T-Bolt on the Latios, and I know Ice Beam's not going to kill, I can Mirror Coat off the damage and KO it back. I can KO a Galvantula with the Mirror Coat as well, so that's why that's just overall a very good move to have against his team. Overall, guys, I think I prepped insanely well for this battle, and I really hope it pays off in the end. I did put a lot of time into this, and I think I came up with a couple good strategies, and I'm pretty sure my Pokemon do kind of benefit each other a lot in this game. I was able to create sets that just not only help the Pokemon that's out at the time, but could also set up another Pokemon to sweep in the end. So, yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today. So if you did enjoy the video, I really appreciate the comments, like, rate, or subscribe. I'm SceptileMC George, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!